Strong cryptography enables political anonymity, creating a theoretical space where state power cannot trace financial transactions or identities. This environment fosters the most extreme thought experiment in decentralized governance, assassination politics. The core premise involves using anonymous digital currencies and smart contracts to fund the removal of oppressive government officials. The system functions as a decentralized bounty market, where participants anonymously place funds into an escrow contract tied to a specific political target. The contract releases the funds only upon verifiable proof of the target's death, authenticated by decentralized oracles. This mechanism is not designed for random violence, but theorized as an ultimate deterrent, making the cost of tyranny prohibitively high for any individual ruler. This dark theory posits that fear of anonymous retribution could enforce political accountability more effectively than traditional democratic checks. Assassination politics is rooted in the broader philosophy of crypto-anarchy, formalized by Timothy C. May in his 1988 manifesto. Crypto-anarchy advocates for the use of strong encryption to create a realm of absolute privacy and economic freedom, rendering government regulation obsolete. The goal is to dismantle state power not through physical revolution, but through technological evasion. Digital cash, anonymous communication networks, and decentralized autonomous organizations are the tools intended to bypass traditional legal and financial structures. Within this framework, political violence, when theorized, is viewed purely as a market mechanism to correct extreme power imbalances rather than a moral act. The system relies entirely on the inability of the state to penetrate the cryptographic veil. The proposed mechanism relies on a decentralized prediction market structure. Instead of betting on future events, participants bet on the death of a specific political figure. Funds are pooled using a cryptocurrency that offers high transaction anonymity, such as Zcash or Monero. The smart contract acts as an immutable escrow agent. If the target remains alive after a set period, the funds are returned to the contributors. If the target is killed, the contract requires irrefutable proof of death, typically verified by multiple independent data sources or decentralized oracle networks. Once verification is achieved, the bounty is automatically released to the anonymous wallet that provided the proof, effectively rewarding the assassin without revealing their identity to the system or the state. Proponents argue that the system's effectiveness lies in its deterrent capability, not its execution frequency. The theory suggests that if any oppressive ruler knows they could be anonymously targeted at any moment, they would be compelled to govern justly or resign. This is often described as the sword of Damocles effect, hanging perpetually over the heads of tyrants. Unlike traditional political assassination, which often leads to immediate state retaliation and martyr status, this decentralized model aims to make the act untraceable and the perpetrator unpunishable. The market itself, driven by collective anonymous desire, becomes the ultimate enforcer of political ethics, replacing traditional legal systems and international courts.
The specific term and detailed mechanism were popularized by Jim Bell in his 1995 essay, Assassination Politics. Bell outlined a system where individuals could anonymously contribute to a pool targeting specific government agents who violated constitutional rights. Bell argued that the system would naturally target the most corrupt officials first, as they would attract the largest bounties. His work was highly controversial and led to his eventual imprisonment on unrelated charges, cementing the concept's status as a dangerous fringe theory. Bell emphasized that the system must be entirely decentralized and resistant to censorship, ensuring that no single entity could shut down the market or seize the funds. Implementing such a system faces immense technical hurdles beyond the obvious legal ones. The primary challenge is the oracle problem. How does a smart contract reliably and anonymously verify a death event in the physical world? Oracles must be decentralized to prevent state coercion, yet they must provide irrefutable, tamper-proof evidence, such as authenticated news reports or biometric data. Furthermore, the system requires perfect anonymity for the contributors and the recipient. Any flaw in the cryptographic implementation or the underlying blockchain could expose identities, rendering the entire deterrent mechanism useless and exposing participants to severe legal consequences. Globally, funding or soliciting violence, regardless of the mechanism, constitutes conspiracy to commit murder or terrorism, carrying life sentences. Assassination politics is universally illegal. Even the theoretical discussion of such markets often triggers surveillance and legal scrutiny under anti-terrorism statutes. Ethically, the concept is rejected by mainstream political philosophy because it replaces due process and the rule of law with anonymous, market-driven violence. It fundamentally undermines the social contract by normalizing murder as a form of political expression, regardless of the target's perceived tyranny. The moral hazard of accidental targeting or misuse remains catastrophic. The mere existence of the assassination politics theory drives state investment in advanced surveillance and cryptographic analysis. Governments view these concepts as existential threats to stability and sovereignty. Countermeasures include mandatory know-your-customer regulations for cryptocurrency exchanges, increased monitoring of darknet forums, and the development of quantum computing capabilities aimed at breaking current encryption standards. The state response focuses on eliminating the anonymity layer, recognizing that without perfect cryptographic protection, the decentralized bounty system cannot function as intended. This theoretical threat justifies broader governmental intrusion into digital privacy. Assassination politics remains a theoretical boundary condition in the study of decentralized governance. It highlights the extreme lengths to which some theorists believe technology must go to achieve absolute freedom from state coercion. While practically non-existent and legally prohibited, the concept forces a critical examination of accountability mechanisms in a digital age. It serves as a dark mirror reflecting the potential for technology to empower individuals to bypass traditional political structures, whether for constructive decentralized finance or destructive political ends. The debate ultimately centers on whether technological solutions can ever replace the necessity of human political and ethical consensus.